Top 7 Most Insane Muscle Cars That Broke All the Rules. If you think muscle cars are all about raw power and straight-line speed, you're right. But these 7 legends took things to an entirely new level. Welcome to our countdown of the top 7 most insane muscle cars that broke all the rules. From tire-shredding beasts to engineering marvels that had no business being road legal, these machines redefined what muscle cars could be. Let's dive right in. 7. 2020 Dodge Challenger SRT Demon. The 2020 Dodge Challenger SRT Demon is the muscle car that Dodge built with one goal in mind: dominate the drag strip. It came from the factory with just one seat, optional skinny front tires, and a launch control system that made supercars nervous. Under the hood is a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8, pushing out a staggering 840 horsepower on race fuel. It was the first production car ever to lift its front wheels off the ground during launch, certified by Guinness World Records. The Demon could do 0 to 60 mph in just 2.3 seconds, making it one of the quickest production cars ever. It completed the quarter mile in 9.65 seconds at 140 mph, which was so fast that it was actually banned by the NHRA. Dodge sold the Demon with a crate of performance parts, including a high-octane ECU, conical air filter, and narrow front wheels for drag racing. The car featured a transbrake, a drag racing device never seen before in a street car. Its drag-tuned suspension and torque reserve system helped it launch like a missile. It wasn't just fast. It was violent. The supercharger whine and exhaust note made it sound like a beast from hell. The Demon blurred the line between street car and race car like nothing before it. It only came in a limited run of 3,300 units, instantly making it a collector's item. While some called it dangerous or over the top, enthusiasts hailed it as the last true American muscle car. Dodge didn't just break the rules with the Demon, they burned the rulebook. 6. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. The 1969 Camaro ZL1 wasn't just rare, it was revolutionary. Only 69 units were ever produced, making it one of the most exclusive Camaros in existence. What set it apart was its all-aluminum 427 cubic-inch V8 engine, derived straight from Chevrolet's racing division. This engine was lighter than the standard cast-iron block and made the car unexpectedly quick. It was originally developed for drag racing but somehow made its way into a street-legal Camaro. On paper, it was rated at 430 horsepower, but real-world tests showed it produced closer to 500. The ZL1 was capable of mid-11-second quarter-mile times with minor tuning. Despite being a monster on the track, it was understated in appearance. No wild graphics, no big spoilers. Buyers paid a steep premium, nearly double the cost of a regular Camaro SS. Its price tag scared off most buyers, contributing to its low production numbers. The ZL1 was never meant to be a mass-market muscle car. It was a loophole special built to exploit drag racing rules. It was an engineering exercise that became an icon. Decades later, collectors still hunt for original ZL1s, and they command six-figure prices. Its legacy is so strong that Chevrolet revived the nameplate in modern Camaros. But the original ZL1? It was pure, unfiltered power at a time when no one expected it. 5. 1970 Plymouth Hemi. Cuda. The 1970 Hemi Cuda was more than just a car, it was a statement. Plymouth dropped a 426 Hemi V8 into a compact, lightweight frame and gave birth to one of the most feared muscle cars of the era. This engine was originally designed for NASCAR and made its way to the street with 425 horsepower and 490 lb-ft of torque. On paper, it seemed manageable, but in reality, it was brutal and borderline unhinged. The Hemi Cuda was known for blowing off its rear tires at nearly any speed. It featured a shaker hood scoop that vibrated aggressively with the engine's rumble. The car was heavy but quick, and in the hands of a skilled driver, it could dominate the quarter-mile. Plymouth built the car in extremely limited numbers, making original Hemi Cudas worth millions today. The design was bold, with aggressive styling, cartoonish decals, and bright colors like plum crazy purple. Insurance companies hated it, and regulators tried to kill it. But it survived long enough to become a legend. The Hemi Cuda was unfiltered American performance, with almost no regard for safety or efficiency. It came with a 4-speed manual and optional drag suspension, appealing directly to gearheads. The car was loud, unapologetic, and unforgiving. It symbolized the golden age of muscle before emissions and fuel crises ended the party. Today, it remains one of the most iconic muscle cars ever built. 4. 1987 Buick GNX. In an era when muscle cars were dying, the 1987 Buick GNX came out of nowhere. Buick was known for luxury, not speed, so no one expected them to build one of the fastest cars of the decade. The GNX, short for Grand National Experimental, was a limited edition version of the already fast Buick Grand National. It was powered by a turbocharged 3.8-liter V6 that produced 276 horsepower. But again, real-world numbers were much higher. Thanks to a Garrett turbocharger and intercooler, the GNX could run the quarter-mile in 12.7 seconds, quicker than a Ferrari of the same era. Only 547 GNXs were made, making it one of the rarest muscle cars of the 1980s. It looked like a sinister all-black sleeper with almost no chrome or badging. Inside, it was pure 1980s comfort, with digital gauges and plush seating. What made it insane was that it destroyed V8-powered competition with a 6-cylinder engine. It wasn't loud or flashy, but it was deadly quick. Buick partnered with ASC McLaren to engineer the GNX's upgraded suspension and performance tweaks. It was the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. While other manufacturers were scaling back, Buick leaned into performance and shocked the world. Today, the GNX is a symbol of unexpected greatness. It redefined what a muscle car could be in the modern age. 3. 2004 Pontiac GTO, LS1 and LS2. When Pontiac revived the GTO badge in 2004, purists weren't sure what to think. But under the conservative exterior was one of the most underrated muscle cars of the early 2000s. The GTO was powered by the LS1 V8 in 2004 and upgraded to the 400-horsepower LS2 in 2005. It was essentially a rebadged Holden Monroe from Australia, meaning it had true performance pedigree. The GTO could sprint from 0 to 60 mph in about 4.7 seconds. Impressive for its time. Its independent rear suspension and precise steering made it more refined than most muscle cars. It didn't scream muscle on the outside, but under the hood, it meant business. Inside, it was comfortable, with leather seats and a premium stereo. It came with a 6-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, giving drivers control over all that power. What made it rule-breaking was how quietly it delivered performance. No stripes, no spoilers, just raw V8 fun. Pontiac marketed it poorly, and sales were slow, leading to its short lifespan. But those who bought it knew they had something special. The GTO was a modern muscle sleeper that handled better than most of its peers. Today, it has a cult following and is seen as a forgotten hero of the LS era. It proved that muscle cars could be subtle, fast, and refined, all at once. 2. 1970 Chevrolet Chevel SS454 LS6. The 1970 Chevel SS454 LS6 was the pinnacle of GM's muscle car power wars. It came with a massive 7.4-liter V8 that cranked out 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. At the time, it was the most powerful engine GM had ever put in a production car. The LS6 Chevel could do the quarter-mile in the low 13s, unheard of for a full-size car. It had cowl induction, a functioning hood scoop that increased airflow as you drove faster. The Chevel was heavy, but it didn't care. It just powered through with brute force. Inside, it was all business, with bucket seats and an optional tachometer mounted on the steering column. The car became infamous for its ability to obliterate tires in seconds. It was loud, aggressive, and made no apologies for being a gas-guzzling monster. The LS6 engine became legendary in muscle car history, and its performance numbers stood strong for decades. Insurance rates skyrocketed because of it, helping to end the muscle car boom shortly after. The Chevel SS454 was a last hurrah of unregulated American horsepower. It wasn't just fast, it was scary fast. Collectors prize these cars today, especially numbers-matching LS6 models. It remains one of the most iconic and powerful muscle cars of all time. 1. Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake. At number 1, we have a car so wild, even its creator called it the Cobra to end all Cobras. The 1966 Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake. This wasn't just a muscle car, it was a barely tamed race car made street legal through pure audacity. Carroll Shelby took the already powerful 427 Cobra and said, "Let's make it faster." He added not one but two superchargers to the already massive 427 cubic inch V8. The result? A mind-blowing 800 horsepower in a car that weighed less than 2,500 pounds. It could go from 0 to 60 mph in under 3 seconds in 1966. The Super Snake was equipped with a 3-speed automatic transmission because a manual couldn't handle all that power. It was so fast and uncontrollable that Shelby originally built 2, but one was destroyed in a crash because the driver lost control and flew off a cliff. That left only one surviving Super Snake, making it one of the rarest and most dangerous muscle cars ever built. It wasn't just fast in a straight line. It was raw, loud, and terrifying to drive. There were no assists, no traction control, no safety nets. It was just you, a tiny aluminum body, and more power than any sane person should ever need. The Super Snake was a personal project by Carroll Shelby himself. He called it his Cobra for the highway. It wasn't legal by modern standards, but back then, there were no rules to stop it. This car didn't just break the rules, it spit in their face. And that's why the Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake is the most insane muscle car of all time. And that's it. 7 muscle cars that didn't just push the limits, they smashed them. But the Shelby Cobra Super Snake? That car didn't know what a limit even was. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to drop a like, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves brutal horsepower. Catch you in the next one.